Hello students, I am again here with one more important question for your Java interview preparation. What is the difference between method overloading and method overriding in Java? See, we can declare variables as well as method inside a class. Suppose inside a single class we are defining multiple methods having same name but different arguments, then that is the concept of method overloading. See, inside a single class means let class xyz is there. Okay, and inside that I have defined one method, let void m1, and it is taking one integer argument, let x. Okay, suppose I have defined here that method, and let I am defining one more method having same name. See, this m1, this is the same name here, but it is taking different type of argument. Let it is taking one long argument. Okay, then this concept is called as a method overloading. Means multiple methods in a single class having same name but different arguments. This is nothing but method overloading. Suppose this m1 method is taking two arguments, let integer x and integer y, and let this m1 method again, which is redefined, but it is taking only one integer argument, let x. Getting? See, this class xyz is having two methods with same name but different arguments, then that is the concept of method overloading. Getting? Now see, here return type doesn't matter. Return type may be same, may not be same, no problem will be there. Only the method signature should be different. Now what is method signature? Method signature means name of the method and arguments, or you can say parameters. These two methods should be differentiated by considering number of arguments or by data type, or at least order should be changed. Means suppose this m1 method is taking first integer, second float, suppose. Okay, and again I have redefined this m1 method, and this is taking first float argument, let y, and second integer argument p. Anything you can pass, this p, q, it doesn't matters. Okay, see here the first m1 method is taking first integer, second float argument, and second m1 method inside the same class it is taking first float, second integer argument. That is again fine. Here return type doesn't matter. Suppose his first method is returning integer, second method is returning void, no problem. Void, no problem. Okay, but method signature should be different. Then this concept is called as a method overloading. One more point, keep in mind, from main suppose I am calling this m1 method and I am passing first integer, second float, then of course this method signature will be mapped to the method call at the time of compilation only. That mapping will be done at the time of compilation. That's why this is called as a compile time polymorphism. Again it is also called as a early binding, static binding also you can say. Getting? Now we will see what is method overriding exactly. Method overriding means that is concerned with child and parent relationship, means there is a inheritance. Inside inheritance only this is applicable, this method overriding concept. Now what is the meaning of method overriding? Suppose a parent class and child class both are having same method, then that is called as method overriding. For example, see class P. Okay, this is parent class, and I am creating one more class here, class let C, which extends parent. This is the inheritance, means this is a parent class, this one is a child class. Suppose inside parent class I have declared one method, let again m1 I am taking void m1 suppose. Okay, and the same method I am redefining inside this child, same method. See, same method signature should be there. Okay, here this m1 is not taking any argument, here again m1 is not taking argument. Getting? Return type is void, return type is void. Here method signature, return type should be matched. If a parent class and child class both are having same methods, means method having same method signature, means same method name, same arguments and same return type, then that is the concept of method overriding. Getting? Means parent and child both are having same methods, Means suppose child is not satisfied with the implementation of parent for this m1 method, then child can redefine that method. This is the terminology actually, because whatever defined inside parent, that will automatically come inside child. Getting? Means whatever you are defining inside a parent, that will automatically come inside child. Means suppose parent is having this m1 method, if you are not defining here m1, then also that is available here inside child class. If you are creating any object of child class, then you can call that m1 method, because it is available to child also. But suppose child is not satisfied with the implementation of parent class method, then child itself can redefine that method. Means I want this method to be implemented in this way, then okay fine, you can redefine it. Suppose one more class you are deriving from this P. Suppose C2 class you are inheriting using this class P as a base class. Then inside that C2 class you are not defining this method again, then C2 will use this method. If you are redefining inside that C class object will use this method in this way. Means redefine a parent class method inside a child class, that is the concept of method overriding. Here method signature should be matched, again return type also should be matched. Getting the terminology? Method overloading means in a single class you are defining multiple methods having same name but different arguments, and data type may be same, may be different, no matter. Getting? Method overriding means parent and child class both are having same method signature, then that is the concept of method overriding. Now let us see the differences. The first difference is, suppose in a class multiple methods with the same name but different parameters or arguments, then that is method overloading. Child class having same name for the method as a parent class, then that is the concept of method overriding. Same name as well as same arguments. Here I have written method signature. Okay. Now next point is, in method overloading return type may be same or different, it doesn't matter, but inside method overriding method return type should be matched. It is compulsory. Okay. Now next see, can have different access modifier. See here I have not written access modifier, means by default it is default access modifier, package access modifier. In method overloading multiple methods will have same method name but different arguments, again return type may be anything, and multiple methods again can have different access modifier also. In method overloading no such a type of restriction on access modifiers, but there is a restriction on access modifiers in case of method overriding. Compulsory access modifier should be same, or child class access modifier should have the higher access modifier. Means what? See, this base class is having this m1 method with default access modifier is here. Okay, and child class, now here currently both are having same access modifiers, but suppose this parent class method is having default access modifier, and inside a child class the same method we are redefining and it is having suppose higher access modifier like public suppose, then okay fine, no problem. But you cannot give here private access modifier. Means you are just decreasing the scope of that access modifier. Scope should be increased whenever you are redefining that method inside a child. Scope should be same or should be increased, and that will be decided by the access modifier. Keep in mind this point, same or higher access modifier in a child class while redefining that method in case of method overriding. Okay. Next see, private static final methods can be overloaded. See, method overloading means inside a single class you are defining multiple methods. Like there is a class, see here I am writing class test, and this is having multiple methods. Let void, again here I am writing m1, again void m1, here suppose integer argument, here suppose float argument. In this way, see, this is method overloading. Means here multiple methods having same name but different argument. These methods are having default access modifier. Suppose this method is having private access modifier and this one is having public. Okay fine, no problem. There is no such a type of restriction on method overloading. Here you can give any access modifier, means static methods can be overloaded, private methods can be overloaded, again final methods also can be overloaded. Okay, means there is no any restriction on method overloading. But see, you cannot override method having private, static and final access modifier. Let this M1 method is declared as a private. Then you cannot do this method overriding. Again, suppose this method is static, then also you cannot override that method. If this method is final, of course, final means you cannot override again. Means private, static, final, these modifiers not applicable for method overriding concept. Always keep in mind. Means only you can override other methods like public methods, protected methods. Again, other modifiers are applicable. Okay, suppose this method is defined as a private, then this is not accessible outside the class only. Okay, means again inside derived class also that is not accessible. That's why you cannot redefine that method. That is not method overriding. Second one is static. Suppose you are writing here static keyword. Static means what? See, this method is now become a class method, not an instance method. Then that is for this single class only. You cannot override that. Next, final. Final means you can, the meaning of final itself, you cannot override that method. You cannot redefine that method. That is the final implementation only. Okay, that's why static, private, final methods cannot be overridden. But here it is okay. Suppose any method is declared as a static method, then you can overload that. So method overloading, there is no restriction on this like private, static, final. Getting? Next one is C. There is no any restriction on throws keyword. See, throws keyword we always use in exception handling. Suppose there is any possibility of occurrence of exception inside any method, then there we can write like throws exception. That type of wording we use always. Okay, like this, suppose inside M1 method there is a possibility of exception, then we can write here like throws let, that is a IO exception. Let you are using here that buffered reader. Okay, then there is a possibility of IO exception. Again we are defining that M1 method, but there is no any possibility of that type of exception. Okay, fine, no problem. You can write in this way in case of method overloading. But in case of method overriding, suppose a child class method is throwing any checked exception. Let this M1 method is throwing a checked exception, then we write throws keyword let IO exception. Okay, then parent class method should throw the exception, the same exception or a higher exception, means that base exception type you can use here. Like see, IO exception is derived from exception class, then here you can write either IO exception or you can also write only exception. Always keep in mind this type of relationship should be there, because these two methods are related with each other. These two methods are not related with each other. There is a relationship between parent-child methods. That's why always there are restrictions in case of method overriding. Okay, means here see, here always the access modifier should be same. Then one more point is that return type should be same. Access modifier, here you can use a higher access modifier, means you can increase the scope. Again in case of throws keyword, again there is a restriction, like if child class method is throwing any checked exception. For checked exception we have to compulsory write this throws keyword, or you can use that try catch block. If you are using here throws keyword and this like there is a any IO exception suppose, then this parent class method also should write that throws exception like this. Getting? Means here see, there are too many restrictions in case of method overriding, and those restrictions are not present in method overloading. Method overloading is very much simple, plain. Okay, no need to think about this method overloading too much. In short, I am explaining the difference. In case of method overloading, you have to only keep in mind that multiple methods having same name but different argument, all those methods should be declared inside a single class. A single class having multiple methods with same name but different arguments. That's it. It can have different return type. Then those multiple methods can have any access modifier, no restriction on access modifier. Again, if any method is throwing any exception, then there is no restriction that other method also should throw that exception. No. Okay, means in case of method overloading, you have to only keep in mind that one class, multiple methods having same name, different arguments. And the method call to method definition, that linking will be done at the time of compilation only. That's why this method overloading is called as a compile time polymorphism, early binding. Okay, that is called as a compile time polymorphism. Compile time polymorphism. It is also called as early binding, also called as static polymorphism. These are multiple words you can use. Why? Because the linking of method call to the method signature, that will be done at the time of compilation by Java compiler. That's why this is called as a compile time polymorphism. That is the early stage. Compilation is the early stage. That's why it is called as early binding. Again, static polymorphism. Suppose a parent class and child class both are having same methods, means my method signature should match. Again, same return type. Then that is called as a method overriding concept. Here there are restrictions, multiple restrictions. Method signature should be same and again return type should be same. That is the first point while doing this method overriding. Second, there is a restriction on access modifiers. Means suppose a base class or parent class is having a method with any access modifier, child class method should have the same access modifier or any access modifier having the higher scope than parent method access modifier. This is the first point. Second point is, see, private, static or final methods cannot be overridden. Getting? Now there is a restriction on again throws keyword. Suppose a child class is having any method which is throwing any checked exception, then parent class should throw that type of exception or any parent class exception type. Okay, means suppose child class method is throwing IO exception, then parent class method should throw exception or IO exception. And the last thing is this binding of method call to the method signature, that will be done at the time of execution by JVM. That's why it is called as a runtime polymorphism or late binding or dynamic polymorphism. Now this is the difference between method overloading and method overriding in Java. In the next session, we will see one more important question of Java. Till then, take care. Bye-bye. Thank you.